3, 2, 1.
This is Ultimate Soccer with Soccer Steve.
And welcome back in, guys. I tell you what, I'm not fit and healthy. Still got a flu bug, and you can probably hear I'm a little nasal, but I tell you what, I'm a trooper. I'm coming through, and that was a tough week. I tell you, I just had something go through me that you just don't want. So I'm not giving it to you, and I'm not giving it away for free. Take care of yourselves, guys. Don't get sick, because I just did. And I'm happy to be back in the land of the living. But let's get straight to it. No point feeling sorry for yourself when you're sick. Just keep going and use your energy carefully and keep eating, keep sleeping, and get back. It's just like getting ready for a game of football. Good rest, good nutrition, and a good training regime. Okay, let's get to it now. Weekend just went through. The 3 Canadian clubs are doing battle all on the road. If you went to ultimatesoccershow.com online, you would have seen that I said we're looking down the barrel of 3 losses here. First game I'm going to talk about. Vancouver, down at Austin, 3-0 loss. Didn't take much to get it there, and I'll tell you what, Vancouver now sitting at the bottom of the bottom of the West. Hello, there's the flu. Bottom of the West in 14th. They were 13th. They just went down another place. You can't go down any further, guys, so it's only up from here for Vancouver. So let's get going, Vancouver. Let's have it, Whitecaps. Let's get you out of the basement. Let's get you into mid-table, and let's start looking for those playoff spots. But 3-0 on the day down at Austin. Austin sitting second in the West, and Austin's a pretty tidy club. They got things going on. But Vancouver, it didn't look good. It hasn't looked good for a while. The form is rotten, and it can only get better. So thumbs up, Vancouver. Let's get going. Let's get going. Come on, come on, come on. Stop coughing up goals. That's the name of the game. Defence is lacking. Offence isn't firing. And they're sitting in 14th. So there you go. 3-0 loss on the day for Vancouver in Austin. Next team, CF Montreal. Headed down to Philadelphia Union. The Union just lost last week for the first time against TFC, and we were hoping that Montreal could get something out of this. They did. They got a point. It was a 1 apiece. Montreal ran out of town after grabbing that point. Philadelphia should have won this, but they didn't. I'm glad they didn't. So is Montreal. Another good point for Montreal. Keeps them in 6th in the East, and they're looking tidy for a playoff spot. Early days, but CF Montreal looking good. Alistair Johnston, 3 assists on the season already. Amazing. Is that guy going to stay at CF Montreal? I don't know. Do you think any European club looks for a really nice attacking fullback like him? I think they're looking all the time. It'll only be a matter of time before Alistair Johnston gets to get some rave reviews from different parts of the world. I'm telling you, it's not a myth. But on the day, Montreal 1 apiece. They ran out of town, grabbed a point, sitting in 6th in the East, doing very nicely. And finally, on the weekend, Sunday, TFC took on New York City. Recently beat New York City 2-1, but on this day, this one I put down as the win that turned into a loss. After 26 minutes, TFC is 2-0 up on the road against New York City. Jesus Jimenez, 2 goals, and the first one was so exquisite. Just taps the post as it goes in. The name of the game in this game was goals that just crept in, just sneaking in the corner. Unbelievable how many goals just snuck in the corner. Anyway, on the day, we're 2-0 up, looking towards half-time. Then it all goes so wrong. New York City get a goal before half-time, and then they add 4 straight goals after half-time for a 5-2 lead. And then TFC would add 2 more before the end of the game to make it 5-4 with Kerr and Michael Bradley. And Morales would then be sent off for New York City on 86. But that wasn't enough for our guys to get back in the game. They tried, but they couldn't get that 5th and final counter. On the end of the day, 5-4 to New York City over TFC in the Big Apple. Wasn't the best trip. But maybe when you reflect on that, guys, TFC I'm talking about, maybe when you 2-0 up, you play a little bit more structured. Especially when you cough up the ball in front of your area and you get scored on, yeah? So keep the possession game up, forward. Don't play out of your own defence. Anyway, I'm just saying. On the day, 5-4 to New York City, great game. And I'll tell you what, if you was a neutral, 9 goals, 1 game, fantastic. Take a look at the standings, East and West. You can see them at theultimatesoccershow.com as well. By the way, big up to Daryl. Great news talking to you. Thank you, sir. And at the end of the day, though, in the MLS, a couple of weeks ago, we were all close to the bottom end of the tables. Now it's only Vancouver that's at the bottom. Once Vancouver wakes up, they'll be fine. And then we'll get them into the playoffs. And hopefully, if we can get 3 teams in the playoffs, hey, MLS Cup isn't that far away, yeah? So, there we go. A little bit the MLS. But I did predict 3 losses before the weekend, and we had 2 losses and a draw. World Cup ticket news now. World Cup ticket news, yeah. If you go to Soccer Canada, the Canada Red program, etc., they've got a page open there for ticket allocations to Canadian soccer fans. Support your team. Now go to this Canadian soccer website, and they have exactly the same format as FIFA. Now, if you're a clever soccer fan, you'll try and get tickets at Soccer Canada, and you'll also try to get tickets at FIFA. And if you look at these pictures now, it's all about logging down as an international soccer fan at FIFA.com and then hit the support your team button and go about setting up yourself some ticket sales. You see, if you channel down 2 areas, chances are you're going to get a ticket. If you only go down 1 area at Soccer Canada, you might not get a ticket. So, channel down 2. Go to Soccer Canada and go to FIFA and check out the ticket allocations for the FIFA World Cup, and you'll do yourself a favour by going down 2 avenues. And it's Visa that is the name of the day. But just thought I'd throw that in there because tickets are going to be really choice pretty soon, and now you've got the chance to get yourself tickets ahead of time. Okay, moving over to some world news before we get to the story of the day. There's a picture there of Ronaldo just before the game. I found it amazing that Ronaldo goes to every player, shakes hands, taps them on the shoulder, and he makes sure that all these guys are said hello to. He touches base with all the players, his team, not the other team. He touches base with all the players on his team before they move out to the field. I thought that was really classy that Ronaldo would do that, you know. Really, really classy. And let's not forget, last week was a terrible week for the Ronaldo family. And at least on the weekend he does score for Manchester United in that miserable performance by Manchester United at the Emirates. Big up to Arsenal for winning the game. But Manchester United, absolutely atrocious right now. I'd say that's the worst squad in 30 years. They've only won 15 games in 34. West Ham's won 15 games. Yeah. And Man United have only won 15 in 34. No wonder why you're not in the top 4, Man United. No wonder why your fans are ripping their hair out. Because, you know what? You're not that good. I say Man United is just a team that's achieving or overachieving from mid-table. I don't think Man United players are that great. I don't think the club is as well endowed with talent as they might tell you. Because let's face it, if you finish last in the league, yeah, you were garbage. If you finish top, you were the team. You finish mid-table, that is what it is. And if you can't get into Europe, you're not a European team. Know what I'm saying? So, Man United fans, I'm sorry to tell you guys, but the squad is a little thin on the ground. And I tell you what, Ten Hag, when you get ready, mate, oh, I tell you, I don't know why he would have taken that job on. Why would he have taken that job on? You're in Ajax, a beautiful place, everything's good, you're the boss, you're the man. Why would you give yourself a job that you might not be able to complete? Face it, there's been 4 guys ahead of you, all big names in the game as coaches, and you think you're going to turn it around? I wish him well, I really do. But I think that's a few years in the process for someone to get Manchester United back and firing. I really don't know why he would have taken that job. I would not have taken that job. They're not in European football next year, maybe Europa Liga. But that's a massive, giant club that's literally a second-rate club right now. They've got everything about them to be and are a great club. But on the face of it, on the field and academically, they're failing, and they're failing miserable, and it starts at the top in their head office, the boardroom. That's where it started, and it still hasn't been fixed. That's where I'd be clearing house, and I'd be clearing out at least half of that squad. I would get rid of most of that squad because they just don't work. And Fernandes, get rid of him. All he does is cry, 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 and cry some more. That's all he does. He just cries his way in the whole 90 minutes. It's horrible to watch. I'm glad I'm not a fan of his. Just saying. Bayern München now. Alphonso Davies. Not Davis, it's Davies. Guys, a few of you say it's nice to hear someone say his name right. I'm just going to say it again. Alphonso Davies. It's actually a Welsh name in its tradition, but Davies is his name. Get used to saying it, because a lot of people in TV don't. They say Alphonso Davies. It's Davies. Anyway, Bayern München, 10 titles on the trot. 10 titles on the trot. 10 titles on the trot. Now, when the Bayern Munich team first started in the Bundesliga in 63-64 season, they would never have thought they would win 10 trophies back-to-back, or 10 titles back-to-back back then. But since 1963-64 season, Bayern München has actually won 31 titles. 31 since 63-64. 10 in the last 10 years. I think it's fantastic for Bayern München, fantastic for Bayern Munich fans, fantastic for the players. But it's absolutely horrendous for the rest of the club's fans, because you never get to win and you're always going to be dominated. What kind of league would that be to watch, where one team wins the title for 10 years straight? Would you want to be in that situation? Would you want to watch that league where they are always winning the trophy? We got no chance. That's what it's looked like. That is exactly what it looks like. So at the end of the day, it's great for Bayern Munich, but is it really good for a league when a team dominates like they are? 10 titles back to back. Bravo. They've won the Schale. That's the plate. It's called the Schale in Germany. The Schale. The big plate. They've won the plate now 10 times in the last 10. 31 since 64. Massive, massive, massive. But again, I ask you, 10 times back to back. Is that good for the league? Is that good for the fans? Let me know what you think. PSG, also 10th title. But not 10 times back to back. PSG has won the title for the 10th time in their history, and they've won the title for the 10th time since 1985. So from 85 moving forward, they've won the title 10 times. I believe they've won it 8 times in the last 10 years. So not as good as Bayern, but not far off. But again, is it really worth one team dominating your whole league for everybody else to suffer the continual dominance by one team? You see that in Germany? It's not so different in France. But yeah, Messi wins his first title in France, in his first trophy since leaving Barcelona. And Barcelona recently just lost their 3rd game at home, and they really are in trouble, and that is not the club it used to be. And why would you want to keep having players go there if you're that average? Because you're not great. Just saying. Moving over to England for a bit of news. It's coming down to the wire now. It's either Manchester City or Liverpool for the big title. You Liverpool fans out there, you must be biting your nails off trying to catch Man City, eh? Oh, I tell you, it's going to be going down to the wire. The team that loses a shock game in the next 4 loses the title. I tell you straight. I've been tipping Man City from day one. I'm going to stick to Man City, but I'll tell you what, Liverpool is a worthy champion. So is Manchester City. It's this close, and it's going down to the wire. And if anything loses Man City the title, I say it would be Pep Guardiola and not the players on the field. You might think that's crazy, but at the end of the day, if you look at Manchester City when they've lost big games, Pep Guardiola got the tactics wrong. That's what I'm saying. So, for Mr. Genius Pep, he's got to get it right for the next 4 games. Will he? And what about Champions League? Is that going to end up between them two? Pep's been there once before with Man City in Champions League final and didn't come off too well, did it? Yeah. So, anyway, it's coming down to the wire. Man City and Liverpool, 4 games back to back. We're going to have to see what's happening and who's going to win it. My money's on Man City, but like I say, Liverpool fans, keep biting your nails because it's going down to the wire and you might well be the champions. The story for today is a story coming out of the Middle East, and it's a Middle Eastern story that I actually lived myself. This was in Kuwait, just up the road from Qatar, Bahrain, and just north of Saudi Arabia. Quite a few years ago, I was travelling out there, and there was a little bit of a game set up for us, where it was a testimonial against a local Kuwaiti team, Al Kuwait. Al Kuwait was the team. And what it was after the Gulf War, where people were going over to do relief work and raise funds and raise money to help the locals get back on their feet, etc, etc, etc. So we landed in Riyadh, and then we were drove to the stadium, and I'm not kidding you now, that stadium was blown to pieces during the war. The field itself, when we got to look at it, was very dry, not much grass, and there was a lot of holes, Subsequently, they filled all the holes in and got it as good as they could in a couple of days for us to then play the game on. Those holes were actually bomb blasts from the Iraqi and coalition forces that had been fighting there. So it's quite an amazing thing to see. So we got there, and all the stadium was filled with people, and in Saudi Arabia they wear white, and they wear the shemals, and it's Arab dress, you know. It's just, you're in Arabia, that's what they wear, and you know, it was a different scene, it was a different crowd, and the way they sing and chant and cheer, it was really cool, but it was very different. It was very different. Anyway, we played Al Kuwait. It finished 3-3 at the end of the day. You don't want to win, you don't want to lose, but a draw makes everybody happy. We played the game out, and it was one of the most surreal feelings I ever had, because like I say, you could still see bomb blasts and bullet holes and everything in this stadium, and it was a beautiful stadium. It was not covered, it was an oval bowl, but it was beautifully put together. But at the end of the day, you're playing a football match against Al Kuwait, Kuwaiti team, and you're literally playing in a blown up, bombed out stadium. It was just absolutely nothing like I've ever had before in my life, and the heat was something else. And we played in the evening, but the heat was something else. I tell you, it was really hot. It was about 38 when we played the game, about 38 degrees, and it was getting up to like 47, 48 during the day. So like I say, but it's the strangest memory I ever had of playing a game in a blown up stadium from a war-torn region, which was in Kuwait, and that was shortly after the Gulf War. And again, it was to raise money for UNICEF, SOS Children's Funds, etc, 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 and we were all asked to go out there and play our game and do our part, and there you go, you learn a bit more about this guy. But yeah, blown up stadium. Okay guys, next show I'll have a way more energy, and we'll have way more to talk about, but as for now, I'm coming back and I'm feeling a little better. But Wednesday, I'll feel much better. Thanks for all the kind words, guys. Thanks for all the kind words that you sent on the internet. And boy, I tell you, that was a flu bug. Okay, guys, talk to you later. Have a great night.
3, 2, 1.
This is Ultimate Soccer with Soccer Steve.